Hi, and thank you for watching us here at Tax Talk UK, where we talk about all things tax and consider other important aspects of working for yourself, being self-employed, running a small business. So today, as part of our bite-sized series of demos in the Quickbooks software, I'm going to just answer a very quick question of people that are saying to us that they have created a supplier and can't find it. So before I do that, if I could please ask, if you're new here, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you can easily refer back to this information if you need to, as well as being able to find other information that we have on a whole host of different topics, all aimed at supporting you in your self-employment. And you can find the bite-sized series of QuickBooks demos in the playlist section of our YouTube channel. So back then to the problem that some people have encountered and what you need to look for. So I'm just going to pop into the demo version of the software. So if I jump into the bank account, then I can show you that the problem that people have been experiencing and what you need to keep an eye on to make sure that you don't make the same mistake. So what's happening is they're clicking into a transaction and they are needing to add the supplier because it's new for them. So they're clicking add new. And what's actually happening is sometimes at the top, it's defaulting, even though it's an expense payment, it's defaulting to be a customer. So what people were saying to us is that they've created the supplier through the transaction, and then they've tried to allocate the transaction and it's nowhere to be seen. They've come out of the transaction and they've come out of the transaction and they've gone to the suppliers and the supplier's not in their list. The reason for this is that they've not noticed that the default is not correct for the transaction. So by inadvertently creating a customer when you want a supplier, or of course it works the other way around, creating a supplier when you want a customer, that's why you then can't find it. So if you've inadvertently created a customer and you wanted a supplier, what you will need to then do is to find the customer in your in the customer list. And if you just click on that, and on the right hand side, if you so at the top here, if you edit, if you change the name just to avoid confusion to something like created in error, something along those lines, and then you can go back in and make sure that the correct default is selected, and if it's not, change it to what you need. So let's just go through that again. So you're clicking on the transaction, you don't have the supplier, so you're trying to add new directly from the transaction. It's not only from the bank feed that this is happening, and just double check at the top that it is going to create you a supplier if that's what you need. Just make sure you've got the right thing. It is reasonable to expect that it would default. If you're an expense, it would default to a supplier, and most of the time it does, but it's just a little gremlin, but that can save a lot of frustration when you can't find the supplier that you've created to know why that's happened. So if that does happen to you, just and you're sure that you've created the supplier and you're just not then able to allocate the transaction still, and it's telling you that the supplier doesn't exist, then just double check that isn't what happens. As I say, a few people have said that this has happened to them, and that is what we've identified is happening to most of the people that found themselves in that situation. So hopefully that has been helpful. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel, and thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.